Hi, I'm Gary Colton, and it's my immense pleasure to open up this session today. And I'm going to do that by sharing my slides. And what I want to talk about is the massive advantage that social impact businesses have in the marketplace. And I want to look at how building your values statement will build your business. So let's take just a minute first to realize why you have such an advantage over most other businesses. Most other businesses don't have a purpose that engages people in their heart, their head, and their gut. And when you look at when people buy something, that moment they make the decision to invest their hard-earned money and time in your product or service, it's an emotional decision. And then they kind of rationalize it afterwards using their head brain, as I call it. And this is all about trust. And you have an advantage because you have a purpose that aligns with human values. The challenge is how to crystallize that and put it into every part of your business process. Not only addressing the clients, the customers at the end, but also everyone that works for you, everyone that invests in you. And taking time to really understand what your core values are is not wasted, because that will be the thread from end to end. So I'm going to show you a few pictures in a moment. And what I'd like you to do is say, would you trust this person? If not, why not? And if yes, you would trust them, or in fact do trust them, what is it about their brand, their personality, their actions that helps you trust them? So let's go. Good old Adolf Hitler. Would you trust him? Pol Pot, for those of you who remember Cambodia. Joseph Stalin. And now I'm going to stop making comments because it'd be too politically like a firestorm if we're not careful. But we'll carry on. Now we're moving into the business world and the spiritual world. You have all made instantaneous judgments based on aligning your core values with what you perceive as their core values. Now, I've never met any one of these people. And yet I'm making a judgment. And I'm making a judgment based on the behaviors I have observed, either in history or in life now. And we all do it. The question is, do they have values that I actually manage to align with? And do I understand them? And when you look at that list, it is absolutely clear that charisma and personal brand is not enough for us to give our trust, particularly when we're considering quite a complex relationship with somebody over a long period of time. Charisma is not enough. It will give you that instantaneous sale, let's say buying something on Amazon. But what is it that keeps us coming back to Amazon or any other provider that is out there? So what else do we need to do? What else do we require? So I'm going to look at a couple of case histories now where core values were expressed, but the behaviors were not consistent with them, and what happened to that company. Now, if you're from the US, you will understand the background to Wells Fargo and the behaviors that were encouraged by senior management and the legal, massive legal hit that they took, and then financial hit. Volkswagen, you may remember them with the emissions scandal in the US that then spread around the world. Body Shop is an international brand, and most people would say it was ethically driven. Apple. And then we've got two companies that call themselves Adaptive Intelligence. One is mine, Adaptive Intelligence Consulting, and the other one is Adaptive Intelligence. And they're a cloud-based AI kind of company. So we can get confused as well by the names. And unless we stand out with something that is core values driven, we're in trouble. I'm going to focus on VW for a second. Pre the emissions scandal, this was their publicly avowed core values. Just take a second. Respect and partnership, customer nearness, top performance, add values. I have no idea what that means. Renewability. And now we really get into it. Responsibility, sustainability, and transparency and openness. And what were they caught for? Cheating. What did they reward their staff for? Being clever, not being ethical. And they took a massive hit. They lost 1/3 of their share value within 2 weeks. And it's taken them since 2017 to climb back up somewhere close to where they were. So they've lost massive amounts of market value. This is what their values are now from 2019. Very, very different. They've obviously done a lot of work. We live diversity. We're proud of the work we do. We, not me. We keep our word. These are the kind of values that social impact businesses, in my view, should be telling the world. It's not about performance. That's a given. It's what do you stand for? What are your non-negotiables? And then how do you behave? Because if we let people down and we don't put our hands up, they will never come back. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to help people fall in love. Yes, I'd say the love word. We're helping people fall in love with your business because we know what our values are and we help people align theirs with us. When that happens, they stay with us. What do you stand for? Now, I'm an executive coach by trade, and you would be massively surprised how few people have ever taken the time to investigate their core values and actually put them in a list. They kind of know them, but they don't know how to live them. So I invited many of the registrants here to play the core values game, and it's very, very simple. We wanted you to focus on the things that are the deepest non-negotiable values you have. And sometimes that can be, yes, customer satisfaction. But what's that based on? Is it greed? Or is it some form of unconditional love for your client? So we took a little bit of a deep dive. You had a list of core values, and we'll give you the list again after the meeting. And I asked you then to submit 8 or 10 core values into a poll. You had time to peruse the values, you had time to select them, and then you entered them. That was your task. And don't panic, I'm going to put the values up again in a little while. And the aim of this is not just for you. What I wanted to do was draw together everyone's core values, which were separately identified by you, and then bring them together as a community in this meeting right here, right now, as an example of how closely connected we all are. And that's the advantage you have. So here was the list, and I'm not going to burden you with going through it. If you haven't already submitted, the poll will be left open. You can get the list again, and we'll just accumulate and accumulate people's core values. But there are many different kinds of core values here. There are head words. like structure and achievement and performance. These are thinking, IQ-based ones. But then there are other heart words, such as love and trust and honesty and relationships and family. And then there are actioning words, power, vigor, etc. And it's when we use all these together, that really gives us power in business and in life. And this is basically how you would submit your core values. You can open any web browser, you can go to that link, you put the text in and you hit submit. Ever so easy to do. And Mia will give you instructions, I'm sure, by email if you have not yet done it. So let's assume everybody did do it. I did it again. So what I want to do is, in a moment, I'm going to show you a word cloud. And the bigger the word, the more people selected that as one of their core values. And it's quite remarkable what connects this group. Are you ready? Just take a moment. The bigger the word, the more people share that word. And you can start to see them: love, purpose, creativity, community, integrity, balance, curiosity, empathy. Lots of the other ones around things like excellence, focus. I don't see many like that. I don't see many achievement. There's no performance in there. There's no, there's very few head intellect-based words. Now, most people here in this webinar I've not met before. I don't even know who you are as guests. And yet we are connected by these core values. That means that everyone you ever work with, these are their core values. Everyone who will ever buy off you, these are their core values. So we are more alike than we are unalike. That is why social impact businesses have an advantage. You are tapping into the basic non-negotiable values of every person on the planet. So I have an invitation, and this is what I'd like you to do from this afternoon. I want you to pay very close attention to what you do and say today. This is your homework. This is your training like an elite values athlete, if you wish. I want you to pick one of your non-negotiable core values. And I want to look at what you do and say today, tomorrow, and the day after. So 3 days. And look at how well aligned your actions and behaviors are with what you claim is your core value. Now, we all make mistakes. Don't berate yourself if it isn't perfectly aligned. But notice how you feel when you are or you're not aligned with your core value. Which feeling do you prefer? And then the day after, pick another different core value of yours and go through the same exercise. At this point, you're simply noticing. You're not trying to change anything, just notice. And then when you've gone through your 8 values, apply that to the rest of your business and home life and your play. After a while, dramatic things happen. You see the world in a very different way. And the reason we're doing this is, as I say, people buy from people they trust. So help people trust you by doing as much as possible in and outside your business that is aligned well with what you claim in public to be your core values. Because this is the equation. I'm an ex-scientist. That's 30 years as a scientist. I love equations. Trust equals your public non-negotiable values times your behaviors. And the more your behaviors are aligned with your values, the bigger the trust in yourself, in others, and other people's trust in you and your business. So the message is, we are all fundamentally the same, and that is a fantastic feeling. It is a wonderful feeling to know that, except for a very few % who might have psychopathic tendencies, and they are out there, unfortunately, in leaders of businesses, it's a well-known fact, 95% of people feel and believe the same things that you and I do. How do I know that? Because I've run this exercise hundreds of times with thousands of people, and I'm just going to show you a few of the word clouds that they've produced. They're all heart words. When the deepest levels of our relationships, our love is investigated, the things we would take a bullet for, they're all around family, faith, trust, honesty, happiness, passion. It's amazing. This one was particularly amazing. This was a group of senior managers of American health providers hosted at Ridgeview, hence the name. 150 of them, not just clinicians, but HR specialists, CFOs. This is their word cloud after half an hour of investigating. Doesn't matter what the role is, everybody's the same. So I've actually distilled it down to 8 words that link everyone on the planet. And they are on the left: love, family, faith, trust, honesty, respect, learning, and happiness. So it links everyone, business leaders, workforces, customers. This is who we are as human beings. So what I invite you to do is take full responsibility for this and run with it. And all of your advertising, all of your marketing, all of your sales messages, all of the customer service, everything is predicated at the base on these 8 words. When you get it wrong, which you will, just hold your hands up and ask for forgiveness and then make up for it. That actually builds more trust, not loses trust. So give your clients deep reasons to trust you. You'll fall in love with your business, and so will they. Thank you very much.